तेरी याद में मैं मगन हो गया हूँ, न जाने मैं किस लोक में खो गया हूँ, न जाने मैं किस लोक में खो गया हूँ। तेरी याद में मैं मगन हो गया हूँ। मेरे दिल की बातें तो दिल से सुनता, कहूँ क्या मैं मुख से तू पहले ही सुनता। मेरे दिल की बातें तो दिल से सुनता, कहूँ क्या मैं मुख से तू पहले ही सुनता। तेरे प्यार की इंतहा अब कहाँ है, गगन से धरा मिल रही ये जहाँ है। तेरे प्यार की इंतहा अब कहाँ है, गगन से धरा मिल रही ये जहाँ है, गगन से धरा मिल रही ये जहाँ है। परम शांति के सिंधु में सो गया हूँ, तेरी याद में मैं मगन हो गया हूँ। प्रभु या खुदा या सखा क्या कहूँ मैं, जो भी हो तुम बिन रह ना सकूँ मैं। प्रभु या खुदा या सखा क्या कहूँ मैं, जो भी हो तुम बिन रह ना सकूँ मैं। तुमसे ही दिल के सभी रिश्ते नाते, चलूं मैं तुम्हारे संग हंसते गाते, संग हंसते गाते। तेरा ही था बाबा, तेरा ही हो गया हूँ, न जाने मैं किस लोक में खो गया हूँ। तेरी याद में मैं मगन हो गया हूँ, तेरी याद में मैं मगन हो गया, तेरी याद में मैं मगन हो गया, तेरी याद में मैं मगन हो गया।
Om Shanti. We are meeting again. It has been an amazing experience. we keep meeting to discuss one or the other power, strength, because these godly powers or these divine powers, they empower us, they strengthen us, and they nourish us. Every time we meet, we study one power, and it feels like we are getting stronger together. And at the same time, we are learning about the practical applications of all these 8 powers. And we also discuss the practical tips shown in the Murli by Baba. We are also learning how to use these powers at the right time. When we use these powers at the right time, we become stronger internally, and we really feel like we are getting these powers in. So that is why we don't need to just listen to these, but also learn to use time to time when it is required. So that is how we become strong and we become stable. In the practical life, when we require these powers, these 8 powers are meant for practical life. And when we use these powers, we feel like we realize attainments. And that's how we reach higher and higher on the peak of success. Each one of these powers, more and more we use them in practical life, we just go up and up in the spiritual path. The power we are discussing today is also a very important one, and that is withdraw the senses. In simple words, what it means is turn mountains into molehills. And when it is a small thing, just let it go. So these power to withdraw, we see the practical use of these in the temple of Shiva. Why? Because outside of the temple, there is Nandi, but inside, when there is Shivling is posted, so at the doorstep, we see the tortoise. What is the special quality of tortoise? So the tortoise, when it wants to move, it spreads the legs out, head out, and when it's done with its actions, it withdraws everything into the hard shell. What it means, We get this knowledge from the devotee path. So the more and more we curtail ourselves, and the more we feel like we are feeling great inside. In the Feng Shui uh, knowledge, in the Feng Shui system, the tortoise is considered as a good luck. They gift each other tortoise. So the life will not become good just by giving tortoise as a gift, but we have to make our life just like tortoise. All our businesses and daily routines, we have spread it so much. Just curtail back in, decrease the activities which are not required or absolutely not needed. And when we do this, we feel very, very quiet and calmness inside, and that gives us super sensual joy. So by giving the gift of tortoise, we just wish each other, but this power is not gonna come into action by just wishing, but we have to actually act upon it. We need to take inspiration from this tortoise. All our senses, the 5 senses we have, we are spreading them outwardly so much in these days. Whenever our tasks are done, we need to withdraw the senses in. When we see any danger, just like how the tortoise senses the danger, it withdraws everything inside the hard shell. And the shell is so hard that even if a truck runs over it, it's not gonna harm the tortoise. In old days, the soldiers used to use their shield made of the tortoise shell. So just like that, in real life, when we feel danger, we need to detach from the situation. Even after seeing the danger, if we just continue towards it, then we cannot keep ourselves safe. In these days, there are so many problems lurking in front of human beings. Many problems are created just by our humans on their own. Just like when any person talks so much, anyone is very extroverted, then that person may speak what is not required. And then when it is realized, the person is under the stress. And then whatever the words were spoken were not required, they come back with a problem. And then the person regrets that, oh, it would be better if I didn't speak those words. But then it's of no use. That is why it is said that the more person is introverted, the more they are happy. So the more and more we speak, talk much, the more and more pain or hurt we bring in our life. We invite more pains in our life. There is a story. There was a Brahmin. He was very poor and he used to live in a village. He thought, let me go to the city. So if I get some money, if some people get some puja or any rituals done, I will get money. So he talks to his wife and says that I want, and talks about his plans. The wife says, okay. And the Brahmin says to his wife that I will leave tomorrow morning, so please make me some food for on the go. In the morning, the wife gives him some food, and the Brahmin just goes towards the city. And as the time goes, he gets hungry, and he thought that let me just eat my food. So he finds a tree for the shade, and he just starts. He opens the tiffin box and takes a bite in his hand. At the same time, there was a bird sitting on the tree, and that bird had a worm in the beak, and the worm got dropped on the bite of this Brahmin. So now he cannot eat that bite, and he just left that tiffin box. This is not good for me. This is impure now, so I cannot eat. And he just thought that this is not a good luck for me. So he just goes back to his home in village. And the wife was surprised. Why are you back? And the Brahmin knew about his wife's weakness. That wife used to just go to people and share and talk whatever she would want to. So he didn't share all the details with her, and he said, no, it's okay, nothing. And then the wife was after him to share what happened. And then Brahmin finally said that if you promise that you're not gonna share this with anyone, then I will tell you. And the wife promises back. And the Brahmin says to wife that when I sat to eat, and the bird sitting on the tree had a worm in the beak, and that worm dropped in my food. So that's why I thought that this is impure now, and this has brought the bad luck. So I came back. Then the wife said, oh, really? And then the wife goes to the well to bring water. There were some other ladies over there. And the ladies asked, what's up? How are you? And this lady couldn't keep anything with her, and she just shared what the what her husband told her. And she explains the whole story to those ladies. And then she says that Brahmin came back. So there was a lady who was also very extrovert and talkative. So she went back into the village and she shared with everyone about this the story about Pandit. And she changed a little bit into the story, and then gradually the story moved from one mouth to one mouth to the other, and they so from one mouth to the other, the story went on, and the actual matter was changed. Ultimately, it was made that the Brahmin is impure now. And then someone also said that Brahmin makes people into bird. So he knows the magic that he can make anyone, he can turn anyone into the bird. So then the story goes to the king, and king is calling for the Brahmin, and the Brahmin understands the whole thing, that my wife didn't keep the story with her, and the story has spread all over. And now he has to go to the king, and the king is asking, show how you are making someone into a bird. So the Brahmin says, okay, just come forward, who wants to become a bird? But who would like to become a bird? So everyone just ran away. So the moral of the story is, when we talk too much, it brings trouble. So it is said that introvert is always happy and extrovert is always sad. And the more we just keep words limited to the point, it is better. In other words, also, it is very easy to elaborate things, but it is hard to just keep it short. That is why Paramatma, the Supreme Soul, has given us the words that speak less, speak sweet, and speak with thoughtful words. That is why it is important to follow what the Supreme Soul has said. Yeah, and in scriptures also it is said that the people who talk too much, they often forget what was the point of the topic. So, in short, just stay away from people who talk too much. So to withdraw or to just bring the matter into a sense, is the quality power. And to do that, we have to become very simple. The more simpler we are, the situations, sicknesses, everything becomes very simple. Simplicity means just take everything with easiness. If we take things easy, it becomes simple. So now, how can we use this power in the practical life? There is a small formula. It's called A, B, C, D. A means avoid. Avoid so many things in life. Most important, the bad company and bad habits. So avoid these things. The bad company can bring troubles to us. That is why it is always said that stay away from bad company. Now B means bypass. We have to bypass few things, which means we just have to keep it unheard. Even if we hear it, we just have to neglect it. C means cancel. Certain things we have to cancel from our life. What do we need to cancel? Especially ego consciousness, anger, jealousy. All these things need to be cancelled from life. So these impurities we need to cancel. D means do. Certain things we need to do because it is important and required. So A, B, C, D. A means avoid, B means bypass, C means cancel, and D means do. Certain necessary things we need to do. For example, elevated actions. We need to be benefactor, benevolent, and that is why we need to be in yoga, in union with Supreme Soul, so that He can give us powers. We need to make our mind powerful. We need to keep the mind healthy with positivity. And with the consciousness, we don't need to share wrong things, wrong messages, especially in WhatsApp and other social medias. So the messages we share and spread in our cell phones, we spread the wrong things. We don't know whether they are true or not. And we just keep it spreading and spreading. This will deplete our energy. So just remember the word tortoise. In Hindi, the tortoise is called kachua. Literally in Hindi, it's translated as nothing happened. So, to bring the matter into essence means gather the thoughts, gather the power, gather the important facts. In other words, be detached and the more we are detached, the more we are attached to Almighty. If we are attached to the things, external things, we can never be attached to Almighty. Even though we sit to meditate, we will just keep remembering other things. So that is why it is important to be essenseful, detached, be in soul consciousness. And just be an observer, detached observer. Just be the trustee. We don't own anything here. We are the trustee. So be introvert, essenseful, detached, trustee, observer, and that is how we need to handle our life and family. The Almighty has asked us to withdraw in 4 aspects. The Baba is giving us Srimad. For these 4 factors, just withdraw and be detached. What are these 4 things? The number 1 is the body consciousness and things related to body. So be detached from body. The second is relations of this body. Third is the things related to body. And the fourth is the situations related to the body. So number 1 is the body. The spread of the body means to stop the spread of the body means sit in the soul consciousness. Sit in the soul consciousness and remember Paramatma. Remember the God. Our sense organs. The spread of our sense organs is so much. In this world, Maya, the illusion, is so strong. It's so strong that our senses gets attracted to this Maya, and then it just goes away without our knowledge. We want to see this and that. We want to eat this food, that food. So many restaurants are out there. It has become hard not to eat at restaurants. So the attractions of the senses, because of this, we become slave of our senses. And that's why we use our senses in a wrong direction. And that's why it is possible that so many types of diseases or sicknesses can happen to us. So we attract the sicknesses. The restaurant food is so impure. It's not hygienic. There may not be enough cleanliness. So obviously that will bring the diseases. So that is why it is said that the attractions through the senses is so much mind and intellect. The spread of mind and intellect is so much. The more and more we get control over mind, intellect, and our attitudes, and we become the king of our senses, and and when we can rule over our minute senses, and we curtail all of these, we just stay away and detached from all these external attractions and become introvert. We attain the self-sovereignty. The Almighty has said that the more and more control we have on our senses, the more control we will have on our mind. That is why God is saying, so when we are in soul consciousness, it becomes easy to remember the Supreme Soul. We cannot meditate if our senses are spread all over. And that is why Brahma Baba is an example that how, even though he was in life, he was living his life at full, how he was detached and loving to everyone. Whoever has seen Brahma Baba, they all share only these experiences. Whoever goes with trifles to Baba, when they are facing Baba, they used to forget about their small things, because the stage of Baba was so strong that whoever has all these small complaints, trifles to complain about, they used to forget it. They used to feel the power in the eyes of Brahma Baba. Brahma Baba spoke the words, people just found those words so much empowering. And that's how everyone was inspired that we want to make our life just like this. It doesn't mean that we need to go away in forest or renounce everything. No. That is why, first of all, we need to stop the spread of this body, spread of senses, and we have to attain the self-sovereignty. The other thing is things related to body. Nowadays, gifts, giving gifts is so much. For any small or a big event, being big occasion celebrated, we start thinking about giving gifts. We spend so much time for this. That is why the relations of this body, we need to be detached. Means we need to see the relationships with soul consciousness. Talk with the soul consciousness. So the more soul consciousness we have, the more simplicity and easiness we will have to maintain the relationship. Everyone will value this type of relationship. And where there is no love, no matter how big gift we give, it's not going to value it. And when there is love, even if we give a small gift, they will value it and love it and keep it with them forever. So bring the soul consciousness. Consider us soul, the other person as a soul, and that's how we maintain the relationship with soul consciousness. We don't want to be detached and renounce the relationships. So detached from the relationships doesn't mean that we run away from responsibilities. No, detachment means we need to be an observer. Any situation, we just need to be upram, and we need to take our ego consciousness away from that relationship. It's like, I am doing this, it's me, mine. We need to be detached from these. Dadi used to say that if someone made a mistake, and Brahma Baba also saw that, yeah, that person made this mistake, Baba never used to make them understand face to face. If that soul is weak, then if Baba make that soul face to face understand the situation, that soul will be hurt, and they may even just leave everything. So Brahma Baba never did that, but instead Baba used to give the suggestions in Murli class without giving any names and just by being detached. So that is why we need to understand that in Murli class, it's not who Brahma Baba is delivering. It is always Shiv Baba who is delivering the Gyan. So no one felt that, oh, someone said this to me personally, someone pointed finger to me. And what Brahma Baba used to do, that wake up at Amritvela and emerge that soul and give that soul the power of light and might. So the soul will be elevated. Many times these weak souls just do things. They are not intending to do mistakes. So Brahma Baba used to know and understand the weakness. He knew that it was not done intentionally. So Baba used to do sakash of light and might at Amrit Vela and used to feel the power in that weak soul so that the soul will come out of the weakness. How elevated action. So Baba says that to all the souls to whom you are coming into contact, just ignore their mistakes. Instead, give the power of Sakash to them so that those souls can come out of the weaknesses and then they realize on their own. When we have a attitude of merciful, then they will also realize that. So third is the material things. There are so many material things people get attracted to. And because they get attracted to these material things, it is hard to become detached. These material things give comfort. And the more comfort we get, the more we get attracted to these things. So that is why the Almighty is saying that use all these material things for good notion, good things, and use all these good facilities and things, becoming a trustee. Don't think that these things are yours, these things are mine. Don't use this as an owner, but use the things by becoming a trustee. So, which means that we become trustee and we use things of others and make a use of these good things and comfortable things in good actions. So whoever is a trustee, they have these ideas in their mind that we don't want to waste anything. Always make the maximum use and use the things carefully. They also take care of the nature. The more we take care of the nature will also give a good return to us. So that is why to become detached from material things, develop the trustee sense. And the fourth one is detach from the situations, difficulties, hard times, confusions. The more we see these things by becoming detached, it will be easy to come out of it. if there is any situation, if we see the situation from a distance and by becoming detached, we will see the way out of it. If we are not detached, then we may become partial, or we may not see the right path, or we get confused. So that is why it is just take a bird's eye view and see the situation by hovering over. That's how we get a broader view of the situation. If we are situated in the situation, we will not be able to see all the details. So by seeing the situation in a broader sense, we will become detached and we will find a way out of it. And if we don't see the whole view, we might get confused. But when we are elevated and we see the things with elevated ideas, we can reach to the root of the problem. That is why it is said that we are just an observer. The God is with us. And when we are detached, an observer, we feel the company of God. And when we hear the God as the companion, we can follow his direction very well. Gulzar Dadi used to say that many times we complicate the situation. How? It is how when we start asking questions. How? Why? So who is this person who is asking the question? So don't be a crow who just keeps doing ka 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 ka, but you become a Hans, holy Hans, who only digs the pure gems. So if we dig into the waste by keep asking the question, who, why, what, we get confused. So if we don't ask such questions, if we don't dig unnecessarily, then we don't get the unnecessary information, and it will not complicate the situation. So the more ignorant we are, it's bliss. Sometimes ignorance is bliss. Sometimes we dig into situation so much and so unnecessarily that small things just grow big, and the big feud happens in the family. Just like the story of Mahabharata or Ramayana. In Ramayana, the Queen Kaikeyi was so much attached with her own son. She lost her senses, and the whole Ramayana was created. So instead of creating the Mahabharata and Ramayana in family, just ignore and feel the ignorance is bliss. Just be to the point. God is saying that whatever you have, just consider that as somebody else's property. If we consider whatever we have as somebody else's property, we will be easily detached. If you want to go into details, go into the details of Gyan, knowledge. Baba says, even in the Gyan, you just be essenseful. What is the essence of the Gyan or knowledge of spirituality? Is Mamikam, Manmanabha. Just be soul conscious and remember me only. Just become the seed. Come into the seed consciousness that requires minimal energy. So our energy will be conserved. So Baba says, whoever has sense can bring essence. And who doesn't have sense, they cannot bring out essence. So that is why it is important to be trustee and observer of the situations. Do not react immediately. Sometimes some people just react immediately. They are angry. Later on, they realize and regret and say sorry. But if we don't react immediately, we don't have to regret. So be detached and act with an understanding. Easily become detached and loving to everyone. If we are detached and loving to everyone, our Amritvala meditation becomes very easy. For some people, it is very hard to wake up for Amritvela, but we need to develop the habit. The more and more we become habituated to do Amritvela, the more we can learn to be detached. Also, feel the power of Almighty at Amritvela into ourselves, into our soul. So the whole day will go with so easiness, because the subconscious mind is open in the morning hours. So the first thought can impact our soul and impact how we spend the day. So be the karma yogi, yogi of action. We don't want to get trapped into the actions. Take care of the responsibility, but be light at the same time. This is the lesson of meditation. What is yoga in action? What is karma yoga? Is how we feel lightness while we are seated in meditation. Just like that, while doing actions, we feel the lightness. We have created this family, but we don't need to get trapped in this. And we don't need to run away from family either. We don't want to be weak or coward. We don't want to run away or get trapped. But we want to fulfill the responsibilities we have created. It is said that sometimes some people would fight and some people would take flight. If we take flight, that's cowardice. But just do the action and be detached. If we are detached and be in union with God, this karma will become karma yoga. It will become yoga in action. When we did things with attachment for the family, what did we gain? Neither they are happy nor us. Attachment has become our weakness. So that is why we have seen how the life is by being in attachment. Attachment only brought the difficulties and pains. So that is why attach with God and detach with everything else in the world. If we are detached, we will become easy yogi and we will be happy. The more and more we will be attached with Supreme Soul, more and more happy we will be, and the happiness will flow out of us. And this happiness flowing out of us will make others happy. If we try to make other people happy actively by consciousness, they are not going to be happy. So that is why practice meditation with detachment, and at the same time practice same meditative attitude while doing actions. So let's do the meditation now. How we start our day with beautiful thoughts. So for next few moments, detach yourself from everything else. Just rise above. Come into the soul consciousness. Just experience. I am very light, a senseful soul. I am a divine power. I, the soul, sitting in the cave in the forehead, And I see myself sitting in there. I, the soul, is the king of all the senses. I am a power detached from all the senses. I am detached from my mind, intellect, and attitudes. And now I am detaching from body, things related to body, and taking my intellect to the God, under the hood of the Supreme Soul. I see myself so light. I am light and I feel light. God is almighty. From the Almighty, I feel all the powers in me. And with the powers from the God, I feel stronger. I feel the light and might from the God within me, and I become a lighthouse and might house. I'm spreading this light and might in the company of God. Such a beautiful feeling. I feel myself so powerful, and I see myself in the center of the forehead and in my home, within my family. I spread this light and might. The atmosphere in the whole house is charged with this light and might. I spread the best wishes and best feelings to all the family members. The God has given us the responsibility to be the light and might. We have to fulfill this responsibility. With the God's power, each family member is feeling happy. The environment in home is happy and joyful. What a positive energy is floating here.
जुड़ गई है मन की तार तुमसे, शक्तियाँ मिल रही अपार तुमसे। भाग्य के द्वारे खुले हमको हमारे मिले, भाग्य के द्वारे खुले हमको हमारे मिले। आए जीवन में ये बहार तुमसे ओ बाबा, जुड़ गई है मन की तार तुमसे, शक्तियाँ मिल रही अपार तुमसे। पिता सद्गुरु सखा तुम्ही तो एक हमारे हो, शिक्षक तुम्ही रक्षक तुम्ही दिल के तुम्ही सहारे हो। मिला सारे रिश्तों का प्यार तुमसे ओ बाबा, जुड़ गई है मन की तार तुमसे, शक्तियाँ मिल रही अपार तुमसे। के गांव तुम मुझे ले आए हो, कांटों से दूर फूलों की छाँव में मुझे बिठाए हो, किरणों की बाहों का तुमसे ओ बाबा जुड़ गई है मन की तार तुमसे, शक्तियाँ मिल रही अपार तुमसे, भाग्य के द्वारे खुले हमको हमारे मिले, आए जीवन में बहार तुमसे ओ बाबा जुड़ गई है मन की तार तुमसे, शक्तियाँ मिल रही अपार तुमसे, जुड़ गई है